big one. Take us behind those rocks.
Moving behind the rocks!
Keep going. You're good. You're good. You're good. And stop. Don't worry, Captain. We'll buff out those scratches.
Hello everybody, Grantito here, and today marks the start of a new little series on my channel. Instead of doing another repaint video, we will be starting off Jurassic Alternatives, which will be centered around controversial scenes in the Jurassic franchise and will feature my own alternative version of the scenes in question. What better way to start this series off than with the most controversial Jurassic Park topic yet? That's right. Today, we'll be talking about the T-Rex vs. Spinosaurus scene. In Jurassic Park 3, shortly after the main characters crash land on the island, audience members were treated to a short and disappointing fight between the subadult T-Rex and the new Spinosaurus, which nonsensically played out with the T-Rex biting and slamming the Spinosaurus around, only for the new dinosaur to snap the T-Rex's neck like a Mortal Kombat fatality.
Why do you even care? You could have walked away.
The Cygolians here must be better than this.
No, my boy! My dear sweet boy!
This scene has sparked years of debate between Jurassic fans, dinosaur fans, and even real paleontologists, and ultimately emasculated the T-Rex for several coming years, while in turn putting the Spinosaurus into the infamous spotlight. However, going back to the film and watching it all the way through, I noticed that there was another carnivorous dinosaur that was also made an embarrassment by the choices of the screenwriters, and that dinosaur just so happens to be the Ceratosaurus. This carnivore from the Jurassic period only had about 20 seconds of screen time, and it was only featured in the film for a crappy joke involving the dinosaurs smelling the survivors that were covered in Spinosaurus poop. This got me thinking, why would they ruin the scenes of these two dinosaurs when there was so much potential for the film? Ceratosaurus has been in dinosaur cinema history since the 1966 film 1 Million Years BC, and T-Rex has been the franchise's star, as well as a fan favorite since its discovery in 1902. Having the T-Rex get killed off so easily and the Ceratosaurus smelling poop for its most memorable scene are very poor screenwriting choices. So, after drawing my own little concept sketches and creating a new script, I created the alternative fight scene that could have saved the film early on. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you my version of the Jurassic Park 3 dinosaur fight. Dr. Grant and the other survivors panted and hyperventilated heavily. It had only been minutes after their crash landing when the massive and terrifying Spinosaurus destroyed their plane and killed 2 of Paul Kirby's hired mercenaries, and now they were being forced to escape the beast by heading through the thick jungles of Isla Sorna. Grant reassures the group before regaining his composure, to which the group responds by doing the same. 20 minutes had gone by since the Spinosaurus last attacked, and already Grant could feel the madness setting in his mind. He was lost on this new island with savage and ruthless dinosaurs. No fences, no jeeps, no buildings to take shelter near. There were no weapons, there was no food, there were no survival supplies, and the worst of it all was Amanda Kirby's infernal yapping.
Quiet. Will you stop that?
After once again quieting Amanda Kirby, Grant leads the group to a large bush of tropical ferns. In his mind, he pictured a large clearing or some sort of saving grace like a building or helipad behind the bush, prompting him to part the ferns and take a look for himself.
It's okay, it's dead.
Just as he reassures the group about the dead parasaur, a large shape moves from the other side. A large red and beige head lifts up from the carcass, and Grant takes note of the size of the animal as well as the recognizable nose horn. Ceratosaurus, Grant thought. The animal stood 6 feet over them and gazed at them like a large lizard, growling softly. Grant immediately thought about his T-Rex encounter on Isla Nublar.
Nobody move a muscle.
But unlike the T-Rex, the Ceratosaurus could see just fine. The group sprints away, leaving Grant in the back, and the large red carnivore gives chase. As the group enters the forest clearing, they quickly realize that the Spinosaurus is already there. After nearly crushing Grant, the Ceratosaurus quickly shifts its weight to the right and clamps its jaws on the Spinosaurus shoulder blade. The Spino is surprised and lets out a horrible hiss, and thrashes about to get the smaller predator off. Although the Ceratosaurus is only about half the size of the Spinosaurus, it is tenacious and refuses to give up its prey nor its territory. If it succeeds to kill this larger predator, it will take over as the dominant predator of northern Sorna. The Spinosaurus swings its body hard and sends the Ceratosaurus stumbling backwards off of its shoulder, but the more nimble carnivore is determined. Grant crawls to his escape as the Ceratosaurus once again darts forward, sinking its teeth into the Spinosaurus' neck and gnawing on the larger carnivore to kill it. By this point in the fight, the Spinosaurus has had enough. Its original goal was to scare the smaller predator off and claim the nearby carcass or fleeing humans for itself, but all has resulted in its own bloodshed. So now, the mood of the fight has changed. This fight is now personal. Once again, the Spinosaur hauls its body and near effortlessly shakes the Ceratosaurus off, but this time the horned assailant is tripped up by the logs Dr. Grant crawled through. Before it can successfully turn and face its opponent, the much larger Spinosaurus crashes its jaws down over the skull of the Ceratosaurus. Sharp, conical teeth pierce the back of the Ceratosaurus' skull and throat, and the large 15-inch claws on its fingers dug into the snout and neck, tearing the tender flesh and causing blood to seep out of the wounds. The Ceratosaurus repeatedly tried to pull away, but much like with a modern croc, the Spinosaurus' jaws were locked in place. It couldn't get away no matter how hard it tried. Just then the Spinosaurus rotated its own head forward with the Ceratosaurus' head still in its clutches, and with one final grunt, the Spinosaurus snapped the Ceratosaurus' neck with an audible crack. The large predator hauled the Ceratosaurus' lifeless body away, nearly crushing Grant as he runs away with his group. The predator that was once deemed a threat by Dr. Grant was now reduced to a paralyzed and shredded pulp, and as he and the survivors run for their lives, the Spinosaurus hovers over its precious kill. The queen of northern Sorna's lust for blood still remains unsated. And that was my version of the third film's dinosaur fight. I thought it would be a much better decision to have the Ceratosaurus in place of the T-Rex, my main reason being that it would enable both of the carnivores to keep more memorable scenes. With the Ceratosaurus, having it take on a super predator twice its size and dying a warrior's death would not only be cool, but it could showcase the Spinosaurus' strength without making the bold claim of it being a bona fide T-Rex killer. And it could be comparable to how the T-Rex in the first film killed the two raptors or ambushed the Carnotaurus in Fallen Kingdom. Doing this would also enable the T-Rex to make a memorable appearance at the end of the film, perhaps even having a battle at the lake where the two carnivores could fight over the humans, only to be interrupted by the flames caused by Dr. Grant. Surely those alternatives are better than a flimsy death and a poop joke. Anyways, what do you guys think of this concept? Would you prefer to see a Ceratosaurus make its brave last stand against the Spinosaurus, or do you prefer the T-Rex fight we got in the final film? As a matter of fact, I'd love to see some of you guys' concept art of this fight. I drew up some quick sketches of my own, as well as my buddy Indominus Rex 2019, so why not start a little community project and discussion? Go ahead and draw this fight, be sure to tag me in it at ChannelGrantito on Instagram, and I'll be sure to feature all of them in my next video. That's going to be it for me today, you guys. If you enjoyed this alternative fight scene, be sure to leave me a like and subscribe if you already haven't. Take care, everybody, and have a swell day. Bye-bye!